Greetings, Boston Celtics fans. In today's video, I bring you a lot of updates, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel. The team certainly has at least one more game ahead, or perhaps several, if they can secure a victory in the next match. It is crucial to show support for the team. The situation of an important player has changed, and he is expected to be sidelined for an extended period. Clearly, he will not participate in the playoff tournament, so the focus must shift elsewhere. After a tense atmosphere in the locker room following the recent game, the players expressed that they need to move forward and change their mentality. They are determined to secure a win to extend their streak and their playoff journey. One player highlighted the need to adapt to this challenging situation. Acknowledging the impact of this change on the team, it is crucial for the group to unite after losing such a significant leader. To be honest, it wouldn't be correct to claim that there is overwhelming optimism for this game, considering the challenges in the playoffs and the consequences of the prolonged absence of this essential player. There may be differing opinions on the outlook for the next game, but the team is considered the favorite, especially playing at home. It will be interesting to see how they respond. It's important to note that some may have a different perspective on this outlook if excitement seems lacking for the upcoming match. The team is considered the favorite, and it will be intriguing to see if the players can deliver an inspired performance on the court while we discuss what they need to do to secure a victory. The expectation is that they will bring an energized game for the next match, but optimism is cautious, especially considering the team's usual performance in the absence of this key player. Statistics reveal difficulties when it comes to the team's efficiency, often labeled as a super team, especially with a strong supporting cast. However, the reality is that the team faces serious challenges without the presence of this player, who is highly regarded compared to others in the playoffs. As a result, the excitement for the supporting cast stepping up against opponents who are not playing their best despite leading the series is low. Few signs suggest the team can effectively compete without this player. Specifically, in the previous game, the team as a whole performed below expectations. One player failed to make an impact, another didn't contribute as anticipated, which is notable considering his age. A third player was also absent, and the performance of a teammate in the second half left much to be desired. Others failed to replicate their past successes. These players are now expected to elevate their game and take on more responsibility in the formation, but the consequence of this is yet to unfold. A key player has participated in nearly every game throughout his career. It is essential for another important player to improve his performance and take on a more prominent role. His last performance was unsatisfactory. Although statistics do not fully reflect the difficulties, turnovers and overall contributions fell short of what is acceptable. Jaylen Brown has been present in 92% of his NBA career. However, it is clear that he needs to raise his level of play and take on more responsibility. His performance in the fourth game was disappointing. While the numbers don't show that it was one of the worst performances I've witnessed, the turnovers were alarming, making it hard to trust him with the ball in his hands. The 20 points he scored were, to be honest, some of the least satisfying I've seen. Frankly, I'm not particularly optimistic about the possibility of Jaylen Brown being the main reference throughout an entire NBA season. We should focus on what's coming next, which is Game 5. Brown commented on this match, mentioning the importance of preparing for the next game, reflecting on the need to move forward after a teammate's injury. This is the moment to fight and show solid performance at home. That's the focus. I believe we have potential in the locker room. However, defensively, the situation was unacceptable. To be clear, there was no resistance whatsoever, and he was referring to the team's defense in the fourth game, which allowed the opponents to accumulate 121 points. The pressure is intense in this matchup. If Brown can stand out, will he be able to maintain a high enough level of play to lead the team to victory? I feel the team needs more offensive creation, especially with one of the main players gone and another player showing unstable performance. It's crucial for him to step up. There are reasons for hope, as in 39 games without this player, Jaylen Brown had an impressive performance, averaging 27 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 50% shooting accuracy. He demonstrates efficiency attacking the basket, although his 35% shooting from 3 is not the best. Considering the data displayed on the screen, which dates back to 2018, they are solid most of the time. However, it's not just in offense that he needs to shine. He should, in fact, reach the 30-point mark. The basketball universe is always evolving, and as we analyze the statistics displayed, which date back to 2018, they seem quite impressive overall. However, it's not just on the offensive end that he needs to excel. It is necessary to score around 30 points, but also to lead and energize his team's defense. Recently, he commented on the defensive weakness, which was indeed a critical factor in the loss of Game 4. The inability to secure enough defensive stops throughout this series led to the team's downfall, as they found themselves down by 9 points and faced a crucial turnover that led to an injury of an important player. That event is still fresh in our memories, but now we're focused on Game 5. What are your thoughts? Do you believe the current formation can overcome a 3-1 deficit? Share your opinion with a yes or no. I'm curious to know the fans' perception of their optimism for this series. To be honest, I'm not very hopeful. In the second half of Game 4, the opponent scored 70 points while shooting 67% from the field, which is impressive. There was a notable lack of defensive effort. One player found his rhythm consistently, while another created opportunities for himself repeatedly. The team left one opponent wide open, while another was converting shots with ease. Everything seemed to favor the opponents as the team allowed them to control the game. By the time the fourth quarter arrived, it was evident that they were at a disadvantage, and I already predicted that the rest of the game would not unfold well for them. My prediction came true. Up until the injury of the key player in the fourth quarter, the opponents showed their superiority. They were efficient in the restricted area, making 3 of 4 attempts and 6 of 8 in the paint, plus 2 of 3 mid-range shots and 1 of 3 long-distance attempts. Meanwhile, the team struggled to find a rhythm in their shots. Although they made a few long-range shots, going 2 of 4 overall, they faced significant challenges while the opponents capitalized on their opportunities with relative ease. This became a worrying trend. One of the 3-point shots was made, but the team struggled to find their rhythm throughout the game. They made some reasonable attempts, 2 of 4, but nothing seemed to flow for them while the opponents played more freely. This has been a constant challenge throughout the series. In the final period, the performance was absolutely unsatisfactory, with an average of 20 points per game in the 4 games played so far. The shooting efficiency was only 23% from 3-point range and 29.8% overall, which are truly concerning numbers. The team has an offensive rating of 92 and a defensive rating of 124.7, which is quite alarming. It's hard to accept, but in close games in the fourth quarter, the team tends to collapse based on the observations made. A net rating of -33 in the final period is in fact unacceptable. It's unknown whether the presence of a healthy player would have changed the course of this series, but it certainly would have impacted Game 4. A defensive rating of 125 is quite alarming. The opponents were making it easy to execute their plays. One player in particular was heavily used in this game, and the opponents exploited that to the maximum. What was observed in this fourth game was that he simply couldn't move laterally. The opponents placed him in pick-and-roll situations and isolations, and his response was unsatisfactory. They were creating separation and converting their shots. The player became a real enigma. What has happened to the team in this series is surprising, as if an unknown condition has been affecting one of their players' abilities, while another is dealing with an ankle injury. What could go wrong indeed has gone wrong, and this player's situation is no exception. He has yet to surpass 10 points in this series, and his performance has been really disappointing. In terms of scoring, it seems like he's forgotten how to do it. He made 4 of 9 attempts in the restricted area, which is unacceptable for a player who stands 2 meters and 21 centimeters tall. On several occasions, it's clear he doesn't have the necessary explosiveness. This series has been quite frustrating, to be honest. In terms of scoring, it seems like he's completely forgotten how to do it. He made 4 of 9 attempts in the restricted area as a 2 meter, 21 centimeter athlete. There were times when he simply didn't show the necessary explosiveness, which is evident to anyone watching on TV. On several occasions, he had a clear path to the basket, attempted a layup, and completely missed it. He really should have dunked it. He didn't succeed in 3 attempts in the paint outside the restricted area, showing lack of accuracy in that region. He also missed his only mid-range attempt, made 1 of 5 from long range, and hit 9 of 13 free throws. In this series, the player is 5 of 18 on shooting, which is absolutely unacceptable. It's a shame, as this is how many will remember him during this stage of the season. Unfortunately, this phase of basketball for him will likely be the lasting memory for most. He has received more criticism than anyone else on social media, which is sad considering his good performance in the previous season when he was healthy and didn't have the condition affecting him now. To be fair, the team hasn't shown their best performance in this series. There are injuries, like one player dealing with an ankle issue and another with a condition affecting his performance, as well as another with a knee injury. Not to mention a thigh issue that another athlete is facing. In addition, one of the players had a wrist problem before injuring his ankle. The team hasn't been 100% healthy. They haven't displayed the same physical condition they showed in previous playoffs. Meanwhile, other teams have faced their own health difficulties. Fans feel the need to defend their title, as many believe they faced a series of weakened opponents. Now, however, the team is dealing with injuries, which is unfortunate. Players participated in international competitions during the summer, and the long journey in last year's playoffs seems to have come back to haunt them this season. They really weren't prepared. The series of injuries in the teams. This year, the Celtics are dealing with serious issues related to injuries, which is really disappointing. Athletes like Brown, Tatum, White, and Holiday participated in the Olympics in the summer, and an extensive playoff campaign last year negatively impacted the team's performance during this period. They simply weren't ready. Winning consecutive NBA titles is an extremely difficult task, but how can Boston triumph in Game 5? I believe it comes down to the determination to win. What happens when this desire is greater than the opponent's? The Knicks showed this recently. They get more possessions, which results in more rebounds. This leads to more shot attempts and, in most situations, more makes. In Game 4, the Knicks out-rebounded the Celtics by 12, which means they had more shot attempts and consequently more makes. The question is who has more will to win. In the first 4 matchups in the series, the Knicks made it clear they wanted it more. They didn't stand out against Boston and didn't dominate any aspect of the contest. Although they played their best game in Game 4, they failed to maintain good performance throughout the series and are now facing a 3-1 deficit. Making shots would be incredibly valuable. The Celtics have struggled with shooting accuracy in this series. They had an exceptional performance in Game 3 where they stood out but returned to an unsatisfactory performance in Game 4. This is really frustrating. And it's not just about struggling with long-range shots. Therefore, if the criticism falls on the Celtics' difficulty converting 3-pointers, it's important to mention that they're also struggling with shots closer to the basket. With a 68% rate, they are below the league average. They have only 26% accuracy in the paint outside the restricted area, which is quite concerning. Their mid-range shooting percentage is 34%, and from the corners, it's 29%. This is unsatisfactory. Interestingly, the best percentage is in 3-point shots beyond the line, which is surprising. I can't see many ways for the Celtics to win this game, but maybe they'll play inspired after Tatum's injury. This is something that happens in sports. Who knows? Maybe they can emerge victorious in this challenge, although the season seems to be coming to an end anyway. How can the Celtics win Game 5? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas. Be creative. What tactics could be used to guarantee a victory in this game? Keep us as your main source of content about the Celtics. I'll see you all soon. And as always, let's go Celtics. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a shocking turn of events, rumors have emerged suggesting that the NBA has made the controversial decision to cancel the highly anticipated second game between the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks. If confirmed, this decision would undoubtedly send shockwaves through the basketball community, especially among the passionate fan bases of both teams. The matchup between these two storied franchises has long been a staple of the NBA season. The Celtics, with their rich history and championship pedigree, have always been a team to watch. while the Knicks, despite recent struggles, still enjoy a loyal following in the basketball world. The rivalry between these two teams is undeniable, and the prospect of a second game in their current season had fans on the edge of their seats. Sources close to the NBA have been tight-lipped about the exact reasons behind the cancellation, leading to speculation and uncertainty. Some believe that logistical challenges such as scheduling conflicts or venue availability may have played a role. Others have suggested that there may be concerns over player health and safety, which has been a top priority for the league in recent years. As COVID-19 protocols remain in place across the league, these factors could have contributed to the decision, although no official statement has been released confirming this theory. The timing of the rumored cancellation is particularly curious, as both teams had been gearing up for the showdown. The Celtics, led by their star players and ever-competitive mindset, were hoping to build on their early season momentum, while the Knicks were aiming to prove themselves as legitimate playoff contenders. Both teams had made significant adjustments to their rosters in the offseason, adding new talent and depth, and fans were eager to see how the newly revamped squads would perform against each other. For the Celtics, the second game was seen as an important opportunity to continue their pursuit of the top spot in the Eastern Conference. With a strong mix of experienced veterans and rising stars, the team was poised to make a deep playoff run, and a victory over a fierce rival like the Knicks would have been a major statement. For the Knicks, the game held similar significance, as they sought to assert their position as a team capable of competing with the best in the East. As the rumors continue to swirl, fans are left in limbo, anxiously awaiting an official announcement from the league. The uncertainty surrounding the future of the game has created a sense of unease among those who have followed the team's journeys throughout the season. Many are questioning whether the cancellation is a sign of greater issues within the league, or simply a logistical hiccup that will be resolved in time. For now, the basketball world remains on edge, with all eyes on the NBA's next move. Whether the rumors are true or not, the cancellation of this highly anticipated matchup would be a disappointment for fans who were looking forward to the showdown between the Celtics and Knicks. Only time will tell what the league's final decision will be. But one thing is certain, the passion for the game remains as strong as ever, regardless of the outcome. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.